What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, where for today's video, boy have I got one stack news around for you all, as we just finally had the reveal for what may just be the most anticipated release of the year so far, and let's just say that it most definitely has the touch. But firstly, now let's jump into the world of third party, and up first, Lucky Cat, who is best known for creating those wicked legend scale transformers, have just announced that they're going to be taking some of their previous designs and finally upscaling them so that they now match in with the Studio Series mainline. Now I think this is Lucky Cat single-handedly opening up a gold mine, because I have been continued to be impressed by these legend scale transformers, but the only downside is that they are super small, and when it does come down to engineering, they can definitely become a little fiddly, so to see them blowing them up to be roughly deluxe, Voyager and leader scale, I think is single-handedly sick. So up first, they are going to be taking their pucker B-movie Optimus Prime and blowing it up to the point where I believe it is roughly in the Voyager class scale, and I think this guy easily has the potential to blow the Studio Series 38 version clean out of the water. The robot mode looks incredible. Considering that it does appear to be a direct upscale, you guys can expect this to come packing with all of the same bells and whistles, the interchangeable hands, the ion blaster, the matrix of leadership, and a pretty decent amount of articulation. Even as we spin him around to the back, he barely looks like he can transform. That spinal detail is so awesome, to the point where I think it could easily rival that of the non-transforming 3.0 Optimus Prime, and not to mention, this guy will actually be able to transform. Now right now we don't have any official images of the upscale in the truck mode, but considering that this does appear to be a near 1-to-1 match to their legend scale release, I think you guys can expect the truck mode to look very similar. I am hoping that, considering they are blowing this bad boy up, maybe they do make some refinements to the truck mode, because it was easily the weakest out of his two forms, but still, this is awesome, and I'm really hoping that this will be a subline that will continue, because stacked up alongside the B-movie Studio Series Megatron, this Optimus Prime looks epic. Which, speaking of, this won't be the only figure that they are set to upscale, because they are also going to be taking their VW Beetle Bumblebee and upscaling him to the point where he is roughly deluxe scale in size. And I really can't wait to put that incredibly ugly Studio Series Bumblebee to bed and whack this bad boy out in its place, because it easily appears to be an improvement in about every single way. Blasting our way into the Legacy universe, we finally have official images of the final entry into the Star Raider subline, that being the G2 Universe Deluxe Class Road Pig. Now, as many of us suspected, this is going to be a slight retool slash major repaint of the Junkion Crash Bar, and to be honest guys, I think especially when it does come down to that slick new paint job, this guy absolutely slaps. I'm also digging the brand new head sculpt, which definitely does have a ninja vibe to it, and even the bike mode I think looks really awesome. This guy's going to be packing a shed ton of additional insignias and logos. When it does come down to a repaint, this guy definitely is appearing to be maybe even a little better when in comparison to Crash Bar, and maybe even nicer than some of the other repaints that we've seen, such as Lockdown. Changing gears by jumping into my bread and butter, now let's discuss Transformers Studio Series. So San Diego Comic-Con is just around the corner, and as you guys would expect, Hasbro is going to be bringing the heat when it does come down to top secretive reveals. But not if Amazon can help it, because they have just dropped a shed ton of additional listings, which do give us a pretty good idea of the very next wave of Studio Series. So jumping into them, the next core class figure that we can expect to see will be Frenzy, based on the Bumblebee movie. Now I would imagine that this is going to be a straight up red repaint of Rumble, who we did see previously. Whilst this will be a great companion piece to stack up alongside Soundwave, I really can't say that I'm too crazy about this one. What I do think sounds kind of promising though, is that this next wave of Studio Series figures is set to be the final for 2024, so I'm hoping that we will finally get the official reveal and release for the B-movie core class Starscream. That figure looks wicked for the scale point, and I think even in some areas may look even better than its Voyager class counterpart. Sticking with Bumblebee, the next listing is honestly kind of cryptic, because right now this is under the codename Next Gen Bubble. Now for the longest time this has been rumoured to be a brand new Bumblebee, but honestly guys, I have no idea whatsoever what this could be. Considering that it now has Next Gen slapped in front of it, I'm thinking, could this maybe be an individual re-release of the Reactivate Bumblebee? Could this be something completely different, maybe even a Devastation version of Bumblebee? I guess only time will tell. Which, speaking of, considering that the upcoming animated movie Transformers 1 is only a few months away, it is awesome that the next deluxe class figure that we can expect will be Transformers 1 Megatron. This is going to be an amazing companion piece to stack up alongside the Optimus Prime, Prime, and considering that Optimus Prime was packing a pretty decent size for a deluxe class, I think we can expect something similar here from Megatron. They recently dropped this stunning teaser trailer, and I can't even lie to you guys, I am digging Megatron's final look in the Transformers 1 movie, so I'm definitely super excited to see how this bad boy's going to turn out. And speaking of bad boys, the next Voyager class figure that we can expect is inspired by those amazing War for Cybertron video games. This will be a Voyager class Gamer Edition Ratchet. Now I thought Ratchet's design in some of those High Moon Studio games absolutely slapped, so I am super excited to finally see this guy, and considering that they will no doubt repaint and retool this into Ironhide, I am hoping that they pull out all of the stops in making this as accurate as can be. Judging by the CG render, this Ratchet is going to be absolutely packing a punch in the mass department, so I'm really hoping that they can almost perfectly execute the design, even down to the sweet Cybertronian vehicle form. Lighting our way into the final reveal, Amazon absolutely had the touch when they dropped this, because we now finally have some proper, super detailed images of the highly anticipated Studio Series 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime. Now we did very recently see a leaked image of this bad boy, and for the most part I thought it looked decent, but Optimus Prime was totally smacking that piano, so unfortunately we never got a great glimpse of him from the front, nor of his truck mode. These images here are super detailed, and considering that he is a robot in disguise, let's start off firstly by checking out the iconic G1 truck, which I think looks so well done. To be honest guys, once we saw the release for the Earthrise Optimus Prime, I never thought Hasbro had the power to top the awesomeness that we got from that release. Well, judging by these images, they may have just done that, and you would expect it, considering that this guy will be retailing for the Commander class price point. The truck mode appears to be a near perfect recreation of the original G1 character model. The details throughout I think are looking sharp, to the point where you would be forgiven for thinking that maybe this was a shrunken down version of the MP44. This guy will be surprisingly packing some brand new blast effects, so finally not the same old ones that we've seen from both Jetfire and Omega Supreme, to recreate Optimus Prime's most iconic scene in the 86 movie, where he does blast through the sky and begins annihilating those Decepticons. In true G1 Optimus Prime fashion, he will also come packing with his original G1 trailer, which again appears to be very similar in design to that of the actual masterpiece. I think detail-wise, this is a big step up in comparison to the Earthrise version, but it is pretty much just a hollow box, and this is really where I do wish maybe Hasbro could give collectors the option between just Optimus Prime on his own and then Optimus Prime with the trailer, which, speaking of, he will come stacked with additional accessories, including Roller, which I think is a great inclusion, considering that the last time we saw this guy was a part of the Centurion Drone Weaponizer pack, which was near impossible to track down. You can even combine Roller with the actual attack drone, and the second that you slap on even more blast effects, you can transform him into an absolute beast, which, speaking of, the robot mode for this guy I think looks amazing. I never thought that after we saw the release for the Earthrise Prime that Hasbro would ever be able to top it, but they absolutely have done so, as this is easily the best G1 mainline version that we've ever seen of this design. It has been said that this guy will be packing something like 40 steps when it comes down to transformation, which is a significant upgrade in comparison to Earthrise Prime. So once again, we are simply getting the MP44 just shrunken down to the mainline scale, and I really cannot wait to check out the internal transformation of this bad boy, which, speaking of, in true Optimus Prime fashion, this guy will also be packing an inbuilt Matrix chamber, complete with the actual Matrix of Leadership itself. He will also include not only the iconic Ion Blaster, but also the Energon Battle Axe, which again is a great inclusion, because much like Roller, the only way to get this into the collection would be to track down that Centurion Drone Weaponizer pack. This Optimus Prime, as you would expect, is also packing when it does come down to articulation. Much like the truck mode, you are still easily able to recreate Optimus Prime's most iconic pose, where he is flying through the air, absolutely obliterating those Decepticons, and you will even be able to recreate the stance where he does very first step out of the Autobot shuttle, which again I just think goes insanely hard. The only part of the design which I definitely do find interesting though would be the head sculpt. Now don't get me wrong, it still is a great G1 Optimus Prime sculpt, but appears to be slightly more MP10 inspired than as opposed to actual 86 movie inspired. Honestly, I think up until this point, the best G1 Optimus Prime head sculpt that we've so far seen would be that Volvo Optimus Prime. That one looked like it was ripped straight out of the 86 movie, but it still does look awesome and will surprisingly even be packing antenna articulation. So overall, without any doubt at all, this is the G1 mainline Optimus Prime to end all mainline Optimus Primes. This figure appears to be banging. So those were all of the reveals and listings that I wanted to break down for today's video. Out of everything discussed, what are you guys most excited for? I'm pretty certain that it's going to be that Studio Series Optimus Prime, because it does appear to be one of the best items that we've had released in a very long time. Definitely be sure to sound off down below. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching, and until my next video, transform and roll out!